Are you ready to test your comic book skills? It's time for another edition of Name That Comic. Hello, my comic book lovers. This is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And considering how well the last video did, I decided to do a part 2. And if this continues to go over well, I will continue to do it at least once a week. And it will help you develop your comic book skills, so where you can see books. And some of these I'll show are key issues. Some you might even just know to stay away from just by looking at their books, by their covers. So when it comes to comics, sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. So the way the rules go is I'm going to show 10 books. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show the entire cover, and your job is to try and tell me as much as you can about that book. If you know the name of the company, if you know the issue number, and if you know of any significance, if there is, place it in there, and at the end of this video, I will give you all the answers. So let's see if you can answer them first without checking to see if you can recognize a book by its cover and name that comic. So let's start out with the first one. Obviously, we're going to start out easy. This should be one that everybody can get. And we will scroll up as high as we can until we get close to the name of the book. So let's see if you can tell me in the comment section what book this is, and as much information as you can. So if there's any significance, post it on the comment. Alright, so that is number 1. And again, we're starting out easy. It'll get a little more challenging as we go. Alright, comic number 2. You can see there's a little bit of a 90s theme. It won't be all of them. So here is comic number 2. Let's see if you can guess what comic book that is. Alright. And see, this is always good, because especially if you're looking on eBay or browsing through comic book boxes, when you get to memorize the covers of a comic, you could just spot it out, and it makes it really quick to search. So here is the next one. Now this one, I'm going to go like this, because there'll be a big hint on the side. So let's see if you can name what comic this one is. And let's see if anybody can remember the number. Now the idea is not to look it up. Try not to cheat. Let's see if you can do it based on memory. And then at the end, we'll see how many you get right. So we're going to go by the honor system. So this one, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you probably still have probably 15 or 20 of this book. So let's see if you know which one that is. All right. Next up. Now they're going to start getting a little harder. Let's see if you can guess this one. There we go. That is definitely a 90s book right there. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what that character is. It may not look familiar to you, or it might look familiar, at least a combination of the two, and that's the only hint I'm going to give you. Alright, next up. This is a Bronze Age book, so I will give you a little hint. This one you should probably know. This is pretty much a minor key issue. So let's see if you know which one this is, just based on the cover. There we go. That is definitely a book to own if you don't have one yet. Same with the next few. This one, you will love it by the cover. Let's see. This one might be a little tricky, so let's see if you know what issue this is. So that is I'll give a hint, that's a Sternenko cover. So let's see if you can guess that one. That is definitely a good book to own as well, just for that cover alone. Okay, so 3 more to go. Now they're starting to get a little bit harder. I haven't made it so it's impossible. We might have to make it harder in future episodes. But let's see if you can guess which book this one is. Special guest star of Peter Parker. Okay. And the last time in the comment section, there were a lot of people that said they really enjoyed doing this. So if you guys like it, I'll keep doing it. So especially with my situation right now, I'm not going to be able to buy tons of comics for the foreseeable future. I will still have some books to show, but At least this will kind of keep everybody busy until I can get back on track. Now, this one, you'll probably know who this character is, but can you remember by memory what number this is of which particular comic? Definitely an interesting book to have, not a major key. Alright, this is the last one. This one you will probably recognize, but this is definitely a key book. Let's see if anybody can remember which issue number this is. So again, let's see if you can do it in the honor system without cheating. So this is definitely a book to own if you don't have one. Alright, so those are the 10 books. Let's see how many of them you got right. So I'm going to stop this video in a second. And don't forget to wait until the very end of the video, because I do my shout out where each video that I do, at the end of every video, I will do a shout out to one of my subscribers. Key thing is you do have to be a subscriber. And if you want to have your name up there, basically the more you comment and the more you participate in the activity of the channel, the more likely and the quicker you will get your shout out. So leave your comments and get as much as interaction as you can. So stay tuned. We will show the answers, and then stay tuned at the very end for you to see who gets the shout out of the day. Alright, so we are back, and hopefully you're not watching this section of the video until you've tried to attempt to answer all of the questions without looking, but here will be the answers to all the comics I showed. It will go in the order that they showed in the beginning. So in the comment section, let's see how many you got right. So here's the first one, and as you can see here, this is Spider-Man issue number 1. So if you wrote Spectacular or Amazing or anything else, you would be partially right, but this is the Todd McFarlane issue number 1. So there we go. Next one, pretty much I'm sure everybody got, but just to show the cover, this is the X-Men number 1. This was one of the 5 variants. I'm sure everybody got that one right, especially if you're around my age. This is the book that started me collecting comics. It wasn't a book that I got until 2 years ago, because I just missed it when it first came out back in the 80s. But this, as you can see, the reason why I covered the side, because it's a Death in the Family, book 3 of 4. So it's Batman issue number 428. So that one, probably people knew what this issue was, but let's see how many people got the number right. Okay, next up, this was the typical 90s comic. As you could see, that shiny little cover that they used to do, the embossed covers and all that special garbage they used to have. But this is Bloodshot, issue number 1, and you can see even back then, $3.50 for this comic. And I'm sure, like I said, there's probably people my age, if you're like 35 and over, you probably have about 5 of those minimum. Alright, this one was a little bit harder. I wonder how many people got this one right. Now, this was from what they called Amalgam Comics. It was a combination of DC and Marvel characters, and his name was Dark Claw. So if you got Dark Claw issue number 1, congratulations on that one. Alright, this is definitely a book, like I said, you should be owning. There is going to be a TV show coming soon. See how many people got this one right. It is the Inhumans issue number 1. Definitely a book to get, so hopefully you got that one right. And again, this is another book you definitely should be owning. And as you can see, it does have some Inhumans in it, early Inhumans. But this is Hulk number 1, King Size Special. So that one's a little bit harder, so we'll see if anybody got that right. And I gave the one hint about the Sternenko cover. That's one of the main reasons why people love that one, because it is a gorgeous cover. The next one, this is another one that you probably know what it is, but it's a hard book to remember offhand. And that is Marvel Feature, issue number 4. Presents the Astonishing Ant-Man. So it's Marvel Feature, issue number 4. If you got that one right, and my cats are jumping for joy, congratulations on that one. That one was definitely not easy. Here's another one that people will know who this character is, especially when it says the name right there. But did you remember the issue number? Of course, it was an X-Men comic, and it was issue number 130. So if you got that one, that's pretty darn good. All right, and last but not least, this is definitely one of the iconic Batman covers of the Bronze Age. This is Batman number 251. This is definitely a book to own. So if you haven't had the opportunity to get this book, get it while you can, because it's that cover alone, and it's considered the first modern-day Joker. And again, just such a great cover, and people love these. So let's see, out of the 10, how many did you get right without having to look? So place that in the comment section. And if you like this and you want me to continue, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section. If you want to share it with other people, let's see if they can test their comic book knowledge. And hit subscribe if you haven't. So check out my other videos, and don't forget to wait till the end of this video so you can see who got the shout out for the day. And if you want a shout out, all you have to do is be a subscriber and comment often, because the more activity you show on the channel, the quicker you will get a shout out. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. I'll see you next time. Looks like Batman wasn't playing his cards right. What an ace-hole.